Hey guys, George Ho here at Smoky Mountain Parkway, just driving with my mom and also my son, taking a little break today. It's the beginning of the new year, and then I think it's always good, especially at this time period, to take a look at the marketplace, right? To get a bird's eye view, a lay of the land, so you can plan and grow productively and smart, right, for 2020. A lot of us know that the hemp market at this time, we're oversaturated by just biomass and also finished goods, as in crude and also distillate. And then whenever you have like supply that's greater than demand, you're going to have decrease in prices. There's a really good site, Panex, that Rob, one of my friends, told me about this weekend, and she has a background, I think, at Cargill and trading a lot of commodities, and she has really insightful views of where the marketplace is. So take a look at it. I'll put the link below. But her conclusion is this: that it's difficult to figure out in this nascent position we're in right now for the hemp market, for where we are on the oversupply timeline, right? She had three extrapolations that she postulated. First, she took out Charlotte's Web, which is probably one of the most dominant retail brands out in the marketplace. When she extrapolated on Charlotte's place, she said that with about 700 acres, I believe that's what Charlotte's has right now, extrapolation, they're doing all the supplies that they need for about $100 million in sales of finished goods. And so if you take Brightfield's estimation of the $2 million that currently is being done in CBD within the United States, she's extrapolating that only 20,000 acres of hemp is needed to grow this amount of distillate. And we all know from some published reports is that over 200,000 acres last year alone, was allocated for hemp growth. And if half of that obviously didn't hit maturation, she's extrapolating that we could hit almost 1 million liters in distillate. Of course, we don't have the production. We don't have the production yet. That's not mature enough to do that, but that's the target rate. So then she extrapolated the second scenario, and the second scenario is using Brightfield Group, which a lot of us is using because Brightfield is very optimistic of where the position is, and they're saying that by 2024, which is just another 4 years away, we're going to be doing over $20+ billion in CBD alone. And then she's extrapolating now that we'll need about 200,000 acres, and to grow that type of biomass, which in all intents and purposes next year we can do. So the third scenario she postulated is that if 329 million Americans at 10% penetration of usage at 30 milligrams a day, we would only need about 21,000 acres to grow that type of distillate. So all three scenarios we're talking about, we're oversupplied, right? We'd also need only around 21,000 acres, right? So, are her assessments and obviously inputs accurate? I'm not sure. What I am sure of is that a lot of farmers I talk to, they're holding on to biomass because the prices are so cheap right now. They're just super, super cheap, and they don't want to let go of it this price. They're thinking that I'm going to hold on for a little longer, George, and then sell into the marketplace maybe in January, March area, where it's not exactly harvest season, right? And hopefully the prices will go up. But then I also have friends who are processing, I'm telling you, massive amounts of stuff. And they're holding on to, I don't want to even tell you how many kilos. I'm talking about strategic reserve, oil reserve of stuff, and tens of thousands of kilos. So at all intents and purposes, what I'm saying is that the market for CBD is at this juncture is definitely, in my opinion, oversupply. It's a buyer's market. So what do we got to do, right? Of course, it's bad for the processors, it's bad for the suppliers and the farmers because prices continues to go down. It continues to go down. And, if we talk about finished products, I can tell you, I can pontificate until the cows come home on how to iterate and differentiate your product with different formulations, different packaging, different delivery systems. And that can help you with obviously continue on to climb up the value chain. But how do we support the farmers and the processors who are putting just monstrous amount of time, monstrous amounts of money into the marketplace to help them climb up the marketplace, right? What are we talking about? We're going obviously organic, we're going minor cannabinoids, we're going maybe like terpene extraction. We're talking about things that I don't really know. I really don't know. I would love to hear your comments on how the strong or the prepared can put their house in order to be able to survive this lag time until we get more clarification from DC, more clarification from multiple countries around the world of how to import in CBD. Those will be the outliers. If we can get a lot of different countries, especially in Asia, to change their laws and allow CBD to come on in. But if they allow those CBD to come on in, when those indigenous growers and indigenous processors take pole position, that remains to be seen too. But in Asia, for sure, they would still like American stuff because they know America. I go to China a lot, okay, but America lies the least. All right, we're just black and white type of people, and they like our stuff, as in they know that majority of our stuff is unadulterated. So we do have some advantages in there, but what are your thoughts? Right now, of course, is winter, so you look in the back and you see all those mountains, and you see a few evergreen tree, mostly deciduous trees where the leaves have fallen off. Right? And this is the kind of market we're in right now for hemp and CBD for the processors and the extractors. It's a tough time. But mind you, the strong ones are always positioning themselves and working feverishly, just like what the underground growth is for all this. Underground and on the earth, you see the roots are still growing, the microorganisms are still growing, the mycelia for fungi is still growing and preparing itself to be able to blossom when the spring comes. Those are my thoughts. Appreciate any thought that you have. In addition, I also want to put in the perspective, some people complaining as in, hey, the market, the prices keep going down. Where I live in East Tennessee, we have a lot of car manufacturing because they're supporting like Lexington with Toyota. They got Nissan, and down the street in Nashville, you got Mercedes-Benz down in South Carolina. I'm sorry, in Alabama, you got BMW and South Carolina. But one thing what I hear from some of these guys that are tier 1 manufacturers is that every single year Toyota is asking for concessions. Toyota is asking for either price decreases or price efficiencies or quality efficiencies. They're always pushing the vendors to be more efficient and cost effective. And as we mature, I'm telling you, those are the things that the supply chain is going to be asking for all the value chain suppliers, okay, from top to bottom. And also think that once we get clarification from DC and the major boys come in, are they going to want to pay extra for the prices, or are they going to keep continuously driving the prices down? That remains to be seen. It'll be, in my opinion, obviously, possibly cyclical like other type of commodities. But where will the prices go? I don't think the CBD prices will climb back hugely like it was beginning of last year. I think it's going to continue to, my opinion, to be around this area or go lower, because I hear of course, processors coming online and, putting in a couple $1 million to do farm to table, which is fine. But then I hear other processors coming in and putting up CapEx like 9 figures to build the biggest CO2 extraction facility that North America or the world has ever seen. And they will have to process tons and tons, I mean, tons and tons of biomass. And that's another perspective to take a look at, as in, you know, beginning days of, beginning 1900s, right, in Detroit, there were literally, you gotta believe, you know, hundreds of car shops, right? And now what do we got? We got 3 big ones plus Elon, you know, hitting the roads, right? So you're gonna see consolidation, and you're gonna see efficiencies across the board. So bottom line, in my opinion, is that if you're a big boy, you know what you're doing. You're increasing the CapEx, you're driving down costs every single location, but you're also praying for demand to increase, right? Because you could probably process more distillate and crude than the market wants right now. And then for the other guys, you know, smaller guys like us, we got to iterate and be innovative in our product formulations. That's what I believe. To grab a niche share and to grow strong within the niches and within the tribes, and then grow stronger overall. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Hope you enjoy the views, enjoy your family this holiday season. Let's go get it, 2020.